¡Está aquí!
Somebody sent those things here to get us.
Something inhuman wants to kill you. Your guns is their own fear.
Hello and welcome to Top Select 10. Get ready for a thrilling ride into the darkest corners of cinema with our countdown of the top 10 best horror movies on Netflix. If you love spine-tingling scares, eerie atmospheres, and heart-stopping moments, this video is a must-watch. We've scoured Netflix to bring you the ultimate list of horror movies that will keep you on the edge of your seat. From supernatural thrillers and creepy ghost stories to psychological terrors and slasher flicks, these films deliver the perfect mix of fear and excitement. Join us as we delve into each movie, highlighting what makes them stand out and why they deserve a spot on your watch list. Our selection features a diverse range of horror genres, ensuring there's something for every kind of horror fan. So dim the lights, grab your favorite snacks, and get ready to embark on a terrifying journey through our top horror movie recommendations. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more top 10 lists and movie suggestions. Number 10. Insidious, The Last Key. The parapsychologist Dr. Elise Rainier has nightmares with her childhood in New Mexico, where she lived with her brother Christian, her supportive mother Audrey, and her father Gerald, who frequently beats her when she claims that she sees ghosts everywhere in the house. When the client Ted Garza calls Elise to ask for help since he is haunted since he moved to a house in New Mexico, Elise refuses the request since the address is the same house where she spent her childhood. However, she changes her mind and accepts the job, and travels with her assistant Specs and Tucker to New Mexico, where they will discover an evil entity in the house. This is a good start for horror movies in 2018. It is very scary, and it lives up to the mark to its franchise. This movie will scare the brains out of you. Number 9. Don't Listen. After the strange death of his young son at their new home, Daniel hears a ghostly plea for help, spurring him to seek out a renowned paranormal expert. This movie was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. The plot and storyline was beyond perfection with twists and turns around every corner. You never know what to expect. The ending was unexpected and really made a shocking realization to the viewers. Throughout this movie, there are jumps, revelations, and moments where you're tense and expecting the worst to happen. This film was a roller coaster of emotions, and the conclusion tied this movie up in the best way possible. Not with a cliffhanger, but a revelation that had been subtly foreshadowed throughout the movie. Overall, I loved this film and recommend it to anyone brave enough to watch it on their own. Number 8. Gerald's Game. To save their dying marriage, Gerald and Jessie attempt to spice up their relationship at a secluded lakeside retreat. But rekindling long-lost affection is easier said than done. Either way, Gerald is confident that handcuffs and creative sex games will do the job. Instead, an unforeseen complication ruins everything. Now, handcuffed to a sturdy wooden bed, Jessie is about to play an entirely different game. This time, however, she needs a methodical mind and undaunted perseverance to survive the night. Clearly, truly the best I've ever watched. Such an intriguing and mind-boggling plot. The dialogue's fantastic, especially people who are supposed to save us from monsters were the real monsters, a very confidence-provoking proving that Stephen King is always the best in his narratives. Number 7. Smile. Having spent years trying to flee her own childhood trauma by working her fingers to the bone, compassionate psychiatrist Dr. Rose Cotter is used to treating the most damaged and vulnerable members of society. Laura's puzzling case, however, is a different story. As an unsuspecting Dr. Cotter attempts to rationalize the dreadful delusions of the deeply disturbed young woman, hair-raising encounters with the unexplained cause the therapist to reconsider. Now she is losing her grip on reality. What an amazing horror movie that was, and I really liked the story to it. It was really well thought out, and there were plenty of jump scares in the movie, which is what a horror movie is all about, right? The actresses were amazing too. The main actress played by Sosie Bacon, who did an amazing job, and all of the other actors were amazing too. Number 6. You're next. From Adam Wingard comes this gory tale of predators becoming prey. A perfectly paced home invasion slasher with cunning twists. Your next strikes a fine balance between the tensions of a family gathering and the uncanny threat from the woods outside. A feast for horror fans. Legit one of the best horror films I have ever seen in my life. Just even based on the unique home invasion aspect, the suspense is excellent. The acting is so believable, and most importantly, the gore and special effects are so realistic. The kills are super unique also. I absolutely love this film. Just to let you know, the kills are brutal, heartless, violent, and completely graphic and explicit. So I just recommend watching if you can handle them and are really into the gory content. With that aside, great storyline and all. Number 5, Under the Shadow. In the 80s, during the war between the Islamic post-revolutionary Iran and Iraq, the former leftist medical student Shahideh tries to return to the university but is barred by the dean. The upset Shahideh returns home, and when her husband Dr. Araj is assigned to work in a war zone, she refuses to move to his parents' house with their daughter Dorsa. Shahideh prefers to stay in her apartment with Dorsa, who loves her doll Kimia and has constant fever. Dorsa is afraid of demoniac jinns, and when Shahideh asks who told her about the legend, she tells that her friend that lives downstairs. Shahideh visits her neighbor and asks his mother to tell her son to not tell horror stories to Dorsa, and she learns that the boy is mute. Then Kimia and Shahideh's Jane Fonda workout tape disappear. When a missile strikes their building, the neighbors decide to leave Tehran, but Shahideh stays in the apartment with Dorsa, who is increasingly disturbed. Soon, Shahideh reads about jinns and finds that there is an evil entity in the apartment. Further, she must find Kimia. Otherwise, Dorsa will be in danger since the jinn will be attached to her. Number 4, The Cabin in the Woods. 5 teenagers head off for a weekend at a secluded cabin in the woods. They arrive to find they are quite isolated with no means of communicating with the outside world. When the cellar door flings itself open, they of course go down to investigate. They find an odd assortment of relics and curios, but when one of the women, Dana, reads from a book, she awakens a family of deadly zombie killers. However, there's far more going on than meets the eye. Rock solid. Precisely what it is that is funny about being stuck in a cabin in the woods that somehow manages to look like the famous walkie-talkie building is demonstrably not funny at all. The film builds up as it touches upon more and more important points, and each character is given a choice to escape the cabin in the woods, a sort of a doorway. The film plays wonderfully upon the ancient concept of using doorways to transport creatures between worlds and has a rich, highly magical atmosphere. Number 3, The Conjuring 2. In 1977 Enfield, the paranormal investigators, Lorraine and Ed Warren, traveled to London to help the Hodgsons. After sensing her daughter to be possessed and her 4 children haunted by supernatural happenings, Peggy Hodgson asks for help when a malicious entity takes possession of the second eldest child, Janet. However, there's something more threatening, not only for the inhabitants but also for the investigator couple, something that they couldn't even imagine. It is a rarity to watch a horror sequel that is almost as good as the first. And let's put an emphasis on almost. The acting was superb from all angles, especially the lead couple, the girl and her mother. There were some extraordinary struggling scenes that were executed perfectly thanks to the latter actors. And because of that, the film adds these extra layers of brilliance, making this a great experience for the viewers as we struggle along with the lead actors. Number 2, Let the Right One In. Blackeberg, Stockholm, 1982. With nothing but liberating revenge on his mind, 12-year-old Oscar, the classroom's bullied undesirable, daydreams about getting even. But here's one, and they are many. As dark thoughts command courage, Oscar has a pivotal encounter with cryptic next-door neighbor Eli, a raven-haired stranger coming as a friend. Sometimes, all people want is a little push to keep them going. However, vengeance and justice don't mix, and blood never forgets. In a quiet suburb now rife with violence and murder, has Oscar placed himself in harm's way? With conflicting emotions challenging reason, can the boy forgive and forget to let the right one in? Number 1, Never Sleep Again. The Elm Street Legacy. Never Sleep Again. The Elm Street Legacy is a 2010 American direct-to-video documentary film that chronicles the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, except for the 2010 remake. The documentary also explores the rise of New Line cinema. This was an excellent documentary and is probably going to cover any questions you would have about the series. The interviews are great, and the cast and crew of every movie seem to all have a great time with the films, so they enjoy talking about the experience. This keeps the film fresh and enjoyable throughout and will keep even the most hardcore fans entertained. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. Thank you.